Millions spent to stop neighborhood flooding.
It covered the whole yard, side of the house.
Is now caving in.
3 years to put together a project and pay for it and get it done, and it only lasts 12 months. I knew something wasn't right about that.
The deficient performance of the existing stormwater system is a result of poor design and or construction installation.
I don't think we've discovered the extent of what's out there.
You all have put everyone involved in this project on notice. You want this fixed, and Darlington taxpayers are not going to pay for this twice.
Absolutely. If I didn't do that, I'd be derelict in my duties.
A Charlotte engineer has helped uncover what a South Carolina city calls a massive multi-million-dollar failure of a brand new stormwater system there. That system was supposed to last a lifetime.
Well, the city is now taking the first steps toward a lawsuit against the Monroe contractor and the engineering firm that designed it. Well, here's Chief Investigator Jody Barr with Drained, a Queen City News investigation.
Okay, well, this is what started my inquiries about the Southwest Darlington Drainage Project.
Charles Sugart never expected to see what he saw when he walked around back of his public works shop last year.
They told me it was unsafe due to the sinkhole. And I said, what sinkhole? And they brought me around here and showed me this. So then I started asking questions about why isn't it fixed, or do we have a plan to get it fixed, and how did it happen?
That day, the city's investigation into what happened here began.
This one here, well, when I saw that one, I could see this one, another sinkhole.
How does the earth wash out around a pipe joint?
Where they go together, where the pipe joints connect together, that has to be sealed. And either the seal is the wrong type of seal, or it may not even be a seal in place. It may not even be one there.
Sugart took us to several joints along the pipeline.
Okay, here's another sinkhole. At some point in time, this one's going to end up just as deep as the others.
Each with different degrees of damage. How deep would you think this is?
Oh, God, I'd say that is, I'm 6 foot tall, and you put more than 2 of me in there.
City records show in 2015, the previous city administration set out to fix a ditch along Chalmers Street. Water would sit there for days, and it stunk.
The dishes were all the way through.
Alva Mack lived with that stinking ditch ever since he moved here in the mid-'80s.
The only problem we had was the odor it had.
Would water just sit in that ditch?
No more than when it rained, it would sit. I don't know what caused that odor they had, but finally they went on and closed it up.
The city says that ditch repair started with a $500,000 price tag to fix the Chalmers Street ditch. But as the city continued investigating, they found that $500,000 job exploded into a nearly $3 million taxpayer-funded drainage project.
And all of a sudden, miraculously, we go from a $500,000 or less ditch project to a full-blown, almost $3 million stormwater project. So we immediately went and hired a forensic engineer to come in and tell us what we didn't know.
Darlington City Manager John Payne took office 2 years ago, 2 years after the Southwest Darlington Drainage Project was finished. At the time, he had no idea what was unfolding with this stormwater project.
I started my position in August of 2021. A little over a year later, I found out about this. We're now at a year after the forensic engineer and our attorneys have been doing their work, and we still are no closer to fixing the problem.
The city hired Applied Building Sciences, a forensic engineering firm with offices in Charlotte, South Carolina, and Florida. The firm issued this report in April, detailing multiple failures, including project design, no records of soil testing, multiple photos depicting improper grading around drains, a pipe not connected to a basin, and even raw sewage flowing into the system.
Whew. That stinks.
Something we saw and smelled there just last week.
But what got me about this project was failure in practically every stretch that I looked at it. There are several sinkholes throughout this project, and they're dangerous. People, children playing could fall. And
you think the taxpayers of Darlington got what they paid for?
Oh, no. Without a doubt they haven't.
Coming up.
It does appear there was a lack of fiduciary responsibilities and controls exhibited on this project, and I would equate that to a total failure of the process. However, that was not the first failure of this project.
City leaders let the public in on what they uncovered and the plan to hold people accountable. Do you view this as a waste of tax dollars?
Absolutely. It was a failure of process, it was a failure of finance, and it didn't take too long for it to start collapsing.
When Drain continues after this.
Upon finding out about the failure of the stormwater project, I had two options. One, do nothing and make city customers pay for the future repairs, or two, engage a forensic engineer and legal counsel to determine which parties are liable for the failure and make them pay for the repairs. I chose option two.
Darlington City Council met a few weeks ago to hear what the city's forensic engineer and the city's hired attorney uncovered.
There are no inverts within the storm drain structures. Pipe sizes reduce as the overall drainage basin increases, a direct contrast to what it should do. The storm drain system is a result of poor design and/or construction. The system is not functional, does not appear to have the required capacity for the present stormwater loads. In fact, some of the stormwater pipes are significantly undersized.
The city's investigation found contracts showing the system designer, Hanna Engineering out of Florence. The firm employs 4 licensed engineers, and its website shows $30 million of work on 50 taxpayer-funded projects in the last decade.
In conclusion, the deficient performance of the existing stormwater system is a result of poor design and/or construction installation. The system appears to have been designed with undersized and incorrectly configured pipes.
We asked owner Michael Hanna for an interview to address the city's claims. Hanna declined and sent us this statement. I will not be making comments to anyone until we prepare a response to the city regarding what we determine to be unfounded allegations. Are you Michael Hanna?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm looking for, well, if Michael Hanna's here, I'd like to talk to him, but.
He's not in the office today.
Oh, he's not? Okay. Hanna also never answered our in-person follow-up visit to his Florence office. The city hired Monroe-based Lansdowne Earth and Pipe to build the system. We tried to find Lansdowne officials, President Maria Verdanis and manager Vince LaBarbera. Neither returned calls and texts to phone numbers we found for them. An address on the contract with the city led to this home with a no trespassing sign, and the other to this building on Concord Highway. An online search shows 1 year after finishing the Darlington project, North Carolina tax investigators charged Verdanis and LaBarbera with multiple counts of embezzlement of state property for failing to pay state withholding tax. Wake County court records show both pleaded guilty to the charges in December 2020. North Carolina Secretary of State records show Lansdowne Earth and Pipe was dissolved after the guilty pleas.
Construction company, best as we can tell, they forfeited their license in South Carolina 2020. You look at the Secretary of State's website, it says they dissolved in 2021. You go to North Carolina and you look at their Secretary of State's website, you get similar issues.
The public meeting also revealed when prior city leaders broke ground on this project in 2018, the city had that $500,000 taxpayer grant in hand, but had no way to pay the remaining $2 million to finish the job. The city had to pass ordinances, adding on fees to water bills to fund the remainder of the project.
The people who pay that are the customers. The demographics of Darlington, we're an older community. We have a lot of low to moderate income people, and every time they pay a water bill, every time they pay a sewer bill, they pay a little bit towards this bond. It's on their backs for a total of 20 years.
It's important to note that the City of Darlington awarded a $2.563 million project to Lansdowne, directed the contractor to proceed, and did not have the funding in place to pay for it. I spent a lot of my career for the City of Charlotte, and I was a construction engineer. And I know that in North Carolina, you have to have your funds encumbered before you can go to work. I suspect South Carolina has a very similar requirement.
The engineer told council there were many questions about the project that his investigation could not answer.
Who managed the project from day one? Were they qualified? What was the storm drain design criteria? Who reviewed and approved the design that allowed for a reduction of pipe sizes as the size of the basin increased, which would require larger pipes, not smaller ones? Who was responsible for the formal review and approval of the project? Who inspected the work to ensure that the project was actually built to the plans and specifications? Portions of the storm drain system are inadequate, and the project could be described, at least in part, as a failure.
We couldn't find anyone with Hanna Engineering or Lansdowne Earth and Pipe at the meeting. But Janie Lathan, the city's hired stormwater consultant, was there, listening and taking notes.
Hey, Ms. Lathan.
Hey, I'm Jody Barr with Queen City News out of Charlotte.
Yes.
Can we talk to you about this project that you
I
headed?
have no comment on this project.
You heard what they said tonight. It was a failure.
I heard what they said, and I have no comment on this project.
Lathan owns Lathan Consulting Corporation. City record shows since 2011, she played the leading role in the future development of the city's stormwater projects.
She wrote grants. As I understand, she did a number of things for the city. But over the span of about 8 years, Lathan Consulting, or Janie Lathan, have been paid $336,000 by the people in Darlington.
Around 2012, Lathan and Stone Engineering Group authored the city's stormwater master plan to focus phasing, funding, and implementation of stormwater improvements. This administration contract between Lathan and the city shows she worked directly on the Southwest Darlington Drainage Project, managing the federal grant. The contract paid Lathan up to $75,000 for technical and administrative services and another $7,000 to submit a grant application and to come up with grant funding strategy development and implementation. The agreement also paid Lathan $108 an hour for additional work. This email the city provided also shows Lathan identified herself as the project administrator while working to gather easements for the project alongside the project manager from Hanna Engineering.
A lot of things that was said tonight was not true, so y'all need to do some investigative reporting.
You don't want to take this chance to defend yourself?
I don't have to defend myself for anything. What are you trying to do?
Under my leadership, some wonderful and great things have happened.
Former Darlington Mayor Gloria Hines, whose administration spearheaded the Southwest Drainage Project, lauded Lathan Consulting's work in her farewell address after losing her re-election bid months after the project was completed in 2019.
We secured a $2.5 million in grant money and the City of Darlington stormwater bond, the largest amount of money at one time for a project in the City of Darlington. History made again. The infrastructure project, which eliminated that stinky smell coming from the oil mill draining into the ditch on Chandler Street. Lathan Consulting Company wrote the RIA grant for this project.
We emailed Lathan and former Mayor Hines the details of what we plan to report. Both sent us lengthy statements, each stating the city's allegations were born from political motivations against them. Hines said neither she nor Lathan had anything to do with the project's expansion, a decision she said the engineers made at the time. Lathan further clarified her role in the project. She was not the project manager, instead managed the grant for the drainage project.
Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Gloria Hines.
I'm Jody Barr.
Oh, okay, Joe, you Jody Barr.
Neither would schedule an interview with us, but Hines found us while shooting video of her campaign sign across the street from Lathan's business. You want to talk to me about the stormwater project?
I'm not going to say anything right now.
Why not?
Well, I'm just not going to say anything. They know what's going on with it.
Which gets us back to Alva Mack in that stinky ditch.
Before they closed, the water was running out my yard into the ditch.
So your yard is flooding after this project?
Yeah.
You still flood today?
Well, if it don't rain that much, you won't have that problem.
So if you got a pretty good frog strangler come through today, what would happen?
And the yard be full up with water.
Would you call this project a success?
One way and another way, I don't know.
There's one point, there's raw sewage, there's sinkholes down by those manhole covers. Almost $3 million later, as a taxpayer in this city, you're paying for it. What do you think about that?
Oh, I gotta go. I got an appointment.
Okay. All right, good answer. During that public meeting last month, Darlington City Council voted unanimously to send a letter to the engineering firm and the construction company's insurance companies, demanding they repair what the letter calls faulty and negligent work of the engineer and contractor. Both companies have until mid-December to respond, to either offer a plan to fix this or to deny the city's claims. The city says if the insurers don't fix this, the city will file a lawsuit to get this project repaired. We'll update this investigation as developments happen in Darlington.